In the vast, shimmering expanse of the Antarctic, where towering icebergs cast long blue shadows and the wind whispered ancient tales, lived a small, unassuming Adelie penguin named Pip. Pip wasn't the biggest, nor the fastest, nor the loudest penguin in his colony. He was, however, known for his gentle nature and a heart that seemed to beat in rhythm with the vast, cold ocean around him. Every day was a struggle for survival in this harsh environment, a constant quest for food to fuel their small, energetic bodies. One particularly brutal morning, a fierce blizzard had raged through the night, coating everything in a fresh, thick layer of snow and making hunting incredibly difficult. The ocean, usually a bustling pantry, was eerily quiet. Its surface churned into an unforgiving gray. Pip had been out since dawn, his flippers aching from diving into the frigid waters, his stomach rumbling with an insistent emptiness. He had searched every crevice, every underwater cave, every kelp forest he knew, but to no avail. Despair began to gnaw at him, a cold, sharp feeling that mirrored the biting wind. Just as he was about to give up, his keen eyes, accustomed to spotting the slightest movement in the murky depths, caught a flash of silver. With a renewed burst of energy, he plunged back into the water, his streamlined body cutting through the icy currents. After a short, exhilarating chase, he emerged, triumphant, with a single plump fish clutched firmly in his beak. It wasn't a large fish, but it was enough. Enough to quell the gnawing hunger, enough to provide the energy he needed to face another day. He waddled onto a small, isolated ice floe, his heart swelling with relief. This was his prize, his hard-won meal, his only sustenance for the day. As he prepared to enjoy his well-deserved meal, a faint, whimpering sound reached his ears, carried on the wind. It was a sound of distress, a sound that tugged at his compassionate heart. He looked around, his head cocked, trying to pinpoint the source. His gaze fell upon a nearby, slightly larger ice floe. There, huddled and shivering, was a tiny, mottled seal pup. Its fur was matted, its eyes wide and pleading, and its small body trembled uncontrollably. It was clearly alone, separated from its mother, and desperately hungry. The pup let out another weak cry, a sound that pierced through Pip's own hunger. Pip hesitated. His stomach roared its protest, reminding him of his own prolonged hunger, the effort it had taken to catch this one fish. This was his fish, his survival. The pup, however, looked so vulnerable, so utterly helpless. Its ribs were visible beneath its thin fur, and its breath plumed in ragged puffs in the cold air. Pip imagined the terror and loneliness the little creature must be feeling. He remembered times when he himself had felt lost and afraid, and the kindness of others, even a shared warmth from a fellow penguin, had made all the difference. His internal debate was short-lived. The sight of the shivering pup was more powerful than his own hunger. With a resolve that surprised even himself, Pip waddled closer to the edge of his ice floe, the fish still firmly in his beak. He looked at the seal pup, then at his fish, then back at the pup. He knew what he had to do. With a gentle nudge, he pushed the fish off his ice floe, guiding it towards the struggling pup. The fish slid across the slick ice, coming to rest just a few feet from the little seal. The seal pup, at first wary, sniffed the air. Its eyes, dull with hunger, suddenly brightened. With a tentative shuffle, it approached the fish, then, with a grateful glance at Pip, began to devour it. Pip watched, a strange warmth spreading through his chest, a feeling far more satisfying than any meal. He was still hungry, yes, but the sight of the pup eating, its whimpers replaced by soft, contented grunts, filled him with a quiet joy. He turned to leave, ready to face the daunting task of finding food again, perhaps with a renewed sense of purpose. Just as he was about to dive back into the water, a massive shadow fell over him. The ice floe trembled slightly. Pip froze, his heart leaping into his throat. He knew that shadow. It was the shadow of a leopard seal, one of the most formidable predators in the Antarctic, known for their immense size, powerful jaws, and insatiable appetites. Fear, cold and sharp, gripped him. He had just given away his only defense, his only source of energy. He braced himself, expecting the worst, his small body tensing for an inevitable confrontation. Slowly, cautiously, Pip turned around. Towering above him, its sleek, powerful body, glistening wetly, was indeed a leopard seal. But this was no ordinary leopard seal. This was the mother of the pup he had just fed. Her eyes, usually fierce and predatory, held a surprising softness as she looked at Pip. She had witnessed the entire exchange, her keen senses picking up on the act of kindness from afar. She had seen Pip, despite his own hunger, selflessly offer his only meal to her struggling offspring. Then, to Pip's utter astonishment, the giant leopard seal did something extraordinary. With a powerful flick of her tail, she dove into the water. Pip watched, bewildered, as she disappeared beneath the surface. Moments later, she re-emerged, not with one fish, but with a whole school of them, wriggling and shimmering, held expertly in her powerful jaws. With a gentle, almost reverent motion, she nudged the massive catch towards Pip's ice floe. It was more fish than Pip had ever seen in one place, enough to feed his entire colony for days. The leopard seal let out a low, rumbling sound, a sound that Pip, to his surprise, understood as a gesture of gratitude. She then nudged her now contented pup closer to Pip, as if to reinforce the bond of kindness that had just been forged. Pip, overwhelmed with emotion and a sudden, delightful fullness in his stomach, for he quickly began to partake in the unexpected feast, realized the profound lesson of the day. His single act of selfless kindness had not only saved a life, but had also brought him an unimaginable reward. From that day on, Pip was known not just for his gentle nature, but as the penguin who taught them all that kindness, truly, always wins. The story of the small penguin and the grateful leopard seal became a legend in the Antarctic, a heartwarming tale whispered on the icy winds, reminding everyone that even in the harshest of lands, generosity can create the most unexpected and abundant blessings.